Welcome to the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Today's focus is going to be about something that I heard of a couple of days ago, and it wasn't very good. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and today's topic is going to be Ben Carson, a man of substance. A few days ago, Mr. Trump held a 90-minute or so meeting and totally just destroyed Dr. Ben Carson, saying all kinds of injurious things, taking excerpts from his book and slandering him with them, even going so far as to liken the man to a child molester, even hinging on the word castration, although he didn't say it. How do you stop a child molester? They can't change. There's two ways you can do it. Hinging on castration and death the other. And after hearing that, I went along and did a little more research on why this man would brutally verbally attack another man. So I went on the internet and Wikipedia and all these things, trying to find what Dr. Ben Carson had said about Mr. Trump. I couldn't find anything. So that means that this man, Donald Trump, just goes around now viciously attacking a fellow candidate, a fellow party member, for no apparent reason other than the fact then possibly Dr. Ben is creeping up in the polls, and at one time had even surpassed him in the polls. Then I got to thinking to myself, is this the kind of man that should go into the White House? My answer, no, not at all. Like I said, my focus is not Donald Trump. I don't need to focus on someone of such a divisive, vicious, and brutal character. No, my focus is Dr. Ben Carson. Because I then looked at his rebuttal to what this Trump fella had said about him. And there again, Dr. Ben Carson showed himself to be a man of substance. The closest thing I've seen to Dr. Martin Luther King in all these many years. He went on in his gentle, kind way to defend himself and to say that perhaps Mr. Trump's advisors need to enlighten him as to what the word psychopathic really means. And then they went on to ask him other idiotic questions, as those news whores do. Pathological. I get so disgusted with all this stuff. This terminology escaped me. Sorry about that, folks. Thanks to my producer, my brother, he keeps me online. He went on to say that he's not going to get all mixed up in these questions about who said that or what this might mean or what have you. He said those are questions you need to ask Mr. Trump. Out of all of the times I've seen Dr. Ben Carson, I've seen him be this shining example of kindness, gentleness. I see him as being a very brilliant man. I see him as being a person that is a good person. Now, presidents in the presidency, I don't know, and I'm not going to be so presumptuous as to say, Ben Carson will be the best president we had, or Ben Carson will be the worst president we ever had. I don't know what he's going to be like or would be like as a president, and I don't even care about that at this juncture. I say this: what matters in anything you do is whether or not you're a good person first. Whether you have been raised with the core values to respect and be considerate to other people, to do the right thing. Did I say to do the perfect thing? No. We all make mistakes. We're prone to that as being human beings. But to the extent possible, do the right thing all the time. If you're a good person and you aspire to be president, more than likely you'll be a good president, because it starts with the core values. It starts with the proper upbringing to make you that good person first. If you're a good person and you want to be a police officer, then you'll go out there and protect and serve because you're a good person first. If you're a good person and you aspire to be a bank president, then you'll deal fairly with your customers. You'll handle their money properly because you're a good person first. If you're a jackass and you aspire to any one position that you want to get, then you'll be a jackass at it because that's what you started with. Usually you end up with what you start. Ben Carson, a gentleman, true, and it shows. I pulled up a few bits of him at the past conventions. While the others are busy with divisiveness and backbiting, both on the side of the Republican candidates and on the side of the news whores that are moderating, it shows, it's evident, it comes out, just like a bad smell. Dr. Ben Carson, when he does answer, he's not there trying to tear anybody down. He tries to answer the questions as he's been asked. He, is just calm and collected and cool and peaceful. Like I said, he is the embodiment of Martin Luther King. I respect the man for that. And I'm not talking about politics right now. I'm just talking about a man, just like me, just like a lot of you out there, a person, just like me, just like a lot of you out there. I look at that first. The man has said on so many occasions that he refuses to get down in the mud pit and start slinging like everybody else. And I am truly hopeful that he can remain strong, just like Martin King, and do that. Not let idiots and bullied blowhards make him deviate from his course. I hope that he can show the world that he continues to be a man of substance. That's what we need. We haven't had that in any realm in a long time, let alone the political one. People jump to destroy. People jump to tear down. We need someone level-headed in aspects of life to help build it up. Now, there are those that would think Mr. Trump has done a good job at trying to verbally destroy Ben Carson and a field of others. Oh, he's badass. Yeah, we need him. For what? To create more trouble in the world that we already have? What if somebody doesn't agree with this Trump fella or somehow managed to piss him off? Is he going to push the button and let go the bombs because he's a badass? Or would he be like Dr. Ben Carson and step back and look at it from a more calm and collective perspective, and then act on what he feels is right for the country, as opposed to being flickering off on a whim or an emotion? There's so many things to consider. I mean, our society has become so adversarial about everything. What happened to compromise? What happened to, yeah, maybe I can have it all? I mean, society has become so simplistic, and I see it on social media and other things. Camaro or Mustang? Well, to a car lover, it's going to be both. Pizza Hut or Papa John's? To somebody who loves pizza, it's going to be both. Everything has to be adversarial. You have to battle. You have to fight. You have to be a badass. And we fear Al-Qaeda. We fear ISIS or ISIL or whatever the heck you want to call them. If anyone can find a logistic, an intelligent, a sensible reason why this Trump fella would go after Ben Carson in such a vile and vicious way, without provocation, and justify that, then we as an American society have become some of the most frightening ghouls I've ever known. To fear ISIS, to fear Al-Qaeda, no, we should start fearing ourselves. If we can back somebody who will do this kind of thing. Yes, Ben Carson wrote a book, and he said that he was, what is it, psychopathic? Pathologicalized. A pathological, troubled teen. But look at the man, it's what he's done. He's evolved from that for half a decade, as he himself said. A lot of us were pathologically violent teens. If pushed, a lot of people have done things. Give the man some booty points for being transparent. They're always, oh, we need to be more transparent. Well, what if it came out later that he was a pathologically violent teen and he didn't disclose it? Oh yeah, Ben Carson, yeah, Ben Carson. He told it. He put it out there in his book. What more do you want? Truth be known, Mr. Trump, you can belittle, you can impugn, you can ridicule Mr. Carson or Dr. Carson as much as you want, but you'll never be like him. A lot of people say, oh, well, he doesn't need to be. He's Donald Trump. He's a billionaire. He's this. I'm not talking about his wealth. I'm not talking about his accomplishments or achievements. I'm talking about his humanity. You will never, Donald J. Trump, be a Ben Carson. Ben Carson is a doctor. He has saved countless human lives, which puts him more on a higher echelon than you'll ever be. Not to impugn what you've done, but I think in this society, or at least it should be in this society, in this life, that the saving and the preservation of a human life far outweighs putting up a casino or a golf course. And on that score, you'll never be the man that Ben Carson is. So how dare you try to impugn what this man has done? I have to say it. I am sorry. And I feel a sense of disgust forever considering for a nanosecond supporting you. It makes me sick to my stomach. Dr. Ben Carson, if he were to have the chance to be president, being such an upstanding and humble man, being a man of incredible substance that has saved countless human lives, that is very intelligent, very family-oriented, and very genuine in what he wants to do, I would be proud to say and proud to have as our first black president. Oh, no, but oh, bastard. No, he isn't. First of all, just look at him on these two scores. He's not fully black, even if I considered him black. He had a white mother. That makes him interracial, not totally black. Then here's the part about his muzziness, his Muslim supporting, his Muslim insides, his Muslim everything. So no, he's not our first black president. He's our first Muslim president. He's our first interracial president. I'm talking about our first totally black president that was born in this country to a black mother and a black father, which would make him our first black president.
His middle name, just like the person that was attacking the United States. Hussein.
Oh, right, yeah.
Hussein.
I don't think the man's name is Benjamin Hussein Carson. I mean, this really just, I couldn't rest thinking of such. I mean, now he's done it to Carly. I call her Snarly Fiorina, but he's done it to Carly Fiorina. He's made, nasty snide remarks about her. He's made snide remarks about all of them up there. But I mean, this was a vicious and heinous thing to have done to somebody who hasn't done anything to him. Excuse me if I'm, nailing it a little bit. I'm still battling this cold or flu or something. This is not what, we're supposed to be about. If you want to, throw some mud over at the Democrats, then I guess that's acceptable, in today's society. I remember a time when there wasn't so much divisiveness on either side of the fence, whether it be Democrats or Republicans. Like I said, they were in the same vehicle and they come to a crossroads and they maybe have a little divisiveness of which way they should go, but they would try to come to some middle ground, at least because the focus was on the American people and what we need. How we're supposed to be building ourselves up for our own country and to the world. And remember, the world is watching. I was listening at some sound bites from other news agencies around the world, and what they were saying about Trump was right on, that he is a billionaire bully. That's what they call him, the billionaire bully. Well, at least I can say this about Ben Carson. When he was younger and he found the errors of his ways, he changed to the better. At 60 some odd years old, Donald Trump is acting more like a child now than an adult. Because the crap that he did to this man is nothing short of what you'd find in a high school or middle school or even elementary school playground or campus. And as I alluded to before, to consider something, a person like this for the White House, the position of presidency, that would be ludicrous to me. Totally ludicrous. Okay, he's already said that the people that work in the United States aren't worth $15 an hour. And even if that became the norm, that you start out at $15 an hour, that's still about $2,400 a month based on a 160-hour work week or pay period. That's really not enough to take care of all the things that you need to take care of in this very expensive society. We would still be living below the poverty line at $15 an hour. Coupled with the fact that most jobs today are part-time ones, because most of all the good ones have been shipped out of the country. So let's just say a 3 to 4 hour worker isn't worth $15 an hour in his estimation. He's already said that the students, this Donald Trump fella, it's already said that the students that are rising up against the racism in this country at these various universities, oh, that's disgusting. Why and how? We've got students of color out there that are going to these universities, getting student loans and amassing debts up to $40,000 when they get out. And when they get out, may not even be able to find a job, and then expect to be treated like crap while they're in the colleges, being shoved off as not getting the education that maybe white folks are getting, and you expect them to smile about it? Trump. And they're disgusting because they want to rise up and say, hey, either you treat us fairly and you educate us fairly like you're doing everybody else in the majority, because we are minorities, and we're supposed to sit there and take it? Hell no, we're not going to take it. We're going to rise up. And the funny thing about it, Mr. Trump, is some of your white folks that are faculty members, that are fellow students, are rising up with the people of color to ensure this happens. But yet that's disgusting. No, you are disgusting. You go to your little rallies and you spew your garbage to your people that come to see you. And you're very vocal about that. And you put people down, you tear them apart, you rip them to shreds like some kind of gigantic roller tiller. But yet when you go to the debates and they get into the real meat and potatoes and start asking the real poignant questions about foreign policy, about some aspects of what the issues are, you can stand there and remain mute for as long as 32 minutes. So I have to ask the question, are you really of presidential material? I watched a soundbite of a news interview they did with Mr. Trump, and the lady asked him, what would he do to rid the country of 11.2 million illegal foreigners? And all he could do was spew the same garbage that he always spews. Oh, I'm going to build a wall, and it's going to be great, it's going to be powerful, and I'm going to get it done. And I tell you this, it's going to be great. She said, but you didn't answer my question. How are you going to do this? He never gives a definitive answer to questions asked of him. On that score, he outdances Michael Jackson, who's one of the best dancers I've ever seen in my entire life. Right up there with the likes of Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire. But he outdances all of them by not answering the questions with specificity. Oh, but when it comes to tearing down Ben Carson, he can get on that cross and he can speak with definity, specificity, and you name it. He is just chomping like he is on the stage and he is getting that Academy Award. Mr. Trump, you go. If that is the best we can do for a presidential candidate, and more importantly, if that is the best we can do in the White House, then maybe Barack Hussein Obama is not going to be the worst president we've ever had. It's time to wake up and understand what's going on here, people. First of all, the whole Republican Party getting up there, battering each other most of the time. I remember, I think it was the third debate, they kind of had an air of cohesiveness. But then they went back at it. Cruz against Rubio, Rubio against Bush, Trump against everybody. You know, and what is this? We did a show about 3.5 years ago when Obasser was up for his second term. It's entitled, Gentlemen, Stop Playing Games. It's like I'm basically saying the same things I am now that I said then. It was just different players. There was Gingrich and Romney and Joe Bastard and a few others. But I'm saying basically the same thing. They're playing games. And that is almost 4 years ago. We have gotten in a worse situation. I think then it was 15 trillion, or trillion dollars. Now we're at 20 trillion. It's time for us as a people to wake up and be damn sure who we are putting at the helm. Not that I'm a big Bible thumper or anything, but it's a little too late to yell, Lord have mercy, when the devil's got you. Before you investigate. There was no reason for that man to have been impugned and maligned the way he was. By this man who's showing himself to be a worse man than Ben Carson could ever be. Like I said, I hope Ben Carson can hold on. Because it's kind of hard to keep getting picked on and not want to retaliate. It's damn hard. King did it. Gandhi did it. And I hope Carson can do it. I think he can. I think he's a man of substance. They poke fun at his wife. She's ugly. She's an ugly first. She'd be an ugly first lady. I think she'd be a brilliant first lady because why? He loves her. She loves him. They've raised a family. They connect. It's not about the trophy wife. Yeah, you got a trophy wife, but she's a bubble-headed booby. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't know that 2 and 2 make 4. Oh, but she sure is pretty. She's curvy. She's svelte. She's, yeah, but she's dumb as a box of rocks. And all this stuff about being badass. Yeah, we need a badass. But it's a thing of when and how to be a badass. If we can't do any better than what we're doing here, folks, and if we can't wake up and see that this is not right, then we are the most frightening ghouls I've ever known and have no reason to fear Al-Qaeda or ISIS. Maybe they should fear us, because if we're going to be accepting of this bullying, of this brash and horrid behavior from anybody, then this is no longer a country worth fighting for. Ben Carson, if you happen to hear this or, become aware of it, I do admire you. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there that feel the same way. There are a lot of them that feel as Mr. Trump. Because that's the way that society dictates today. Wrong is the new right in this society. But I think that you're right, Dr. Ben. I think that Martin King would be very, very proud of you for who you are, what you stand for, how intelligent you are, and more importantly, how you choose to use that intelligence. Yes, Mr. Trump is intelligent, but he doesn't use his intelligence in a wise and profitable, and by profitable, I don't mean money. I mean country-wise, getting the country together in a positive way, not in a hateful, injurious way. I think Dr. King would be proud of you, Dr. Ben. And I honestly and sincerely hope that you can maintain, keep that faith, keep that demeanor, keep that Ben Carson-ish way that you had all your adult and wonderful life, saving lives, making human life mean something by preserving it. You are a wonderful and great man, and I applaud you. Keep up the good fight, and I hope that you win your course. And let no man ever look down upon your greatness. That's the Phil Taylor Jones Show. for today. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and take care.